Peace and blessings, everyone. Welcome to the Harmony and Strength Show. Our goal is to promote health and well-being in the various areas of life and to educate and empower you with holistic information for optimum living. I am Simbi.
And I'm Haleen.
And we are Harmony and Strength. So as we begin, we want to invite you to like our Facebook page at Harmony and Strength, and make sure you visit our website, which is www.qualityheartbeats.com, to partake in some of our offerings for your optimum enjoyment of life. And also, check out our new product that I'm going to play right now in our commercial, Sweet and Tight. Give me 1 second. All right, we're going to do this again.
Come, experience the wonders of Sweet and Tight. We follow nature's way by going deep at the cellular level to pull toxins out of your body, leaving you fresh as spring. A freshness that carries the hypnotic fragrance of pheromones, producing a sweet surrender. When used regularly, this special blend of fruit extracts will allow you and your partner to enjoy the continued sweetness of your feminine nectar. Order now at www.qualityheartbeats.com.
Okay, today we have a special guest with us. It's our good brother, Malenga Olubusola Moon. And Malenga Olubusola Ifasegun Moon is a disciple of the Alagbaa, Shaha Mfundishi Maasi. He is the father of 4 beautiful girls and is one of the lead instructors for the School of Heaven and Earth. Having studied under Shaha Mfundishi Maasi for over 12 years, Malenga Moon was made the lead instructor of the moving meditative form, Communion with the Divine. The communion form is used to teach practitioners how to bridge the gap between stillness and movement. Now, Malenga Olubusola Moon is the co-founder of Nsoroma Academy, an independent private school located in Baltimore, Maryland. He was initiated into the Society of African Warriors in 2004. He has taught mindfulness and meditative movement at the University of Maryland School of Medicine, Baltimore County Public School System, and Nsoroma Academy for Holistic Thought, where he is currently a personal mindfulness meditation instructor. So now today we're going to discuss some of the things with our brother Olubusola pertaining to mindfulness meditation, pertaining to, just overall things, the benefits of, what he has experienced by being a student of Shaha Mfundishi Maasi within the School of Heaven and Earth. So we're going to dig right in. So, Olu, let us know what has being involved in the School of Heaven and Earth done for you as a person?
Well, the School of Heaven and Earth, what it's done for me, it's given me a place where I can go and to begin to better understand myself, to begin to better understand the interworkings of the mind and how we are continuously being manipulated and betrayed by our own mind. And so what the school has done, it's given me tools to peel back the layers of dysfunction of self and begin to demonstrate and to show the world the best of me by removing a great deal of the dysfunction that's there. Ultimately, that's the goal, is to better oneself, and then doing that, giving the best of you to those who you come in contact with. So that's what the School of Heaven and Earth has really done for me.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
I was impressed with the concept of bringing stillness and movement together as one. Can you run through the process of how that's done?
Absolutely. So when we think about a child, an infant child, right? And before that infant child begins to walk, you will often see them, when they stand, they will steady themselves. They will not move until they feel that they have rooted themselves and have a good stillness, a platform of stillness, before they start to actually move. And so the communion form, what it does is it teaches you how to move accurately by forcing you to be still. So in your stillness, you begin to see how the body is off balance, just in stillness. Because if you stand straight up, typically you would notice weight is on one side of your body, or weight may be on the other side of your body, how your head's not straight, but you're still. So when you move, you tend to move with that same level of being off balance. And so the practice is to get you to see the stillness and how the body needs to be adjusted in stillness, so that when you execute, no matter what it is, that you execute with proficiency and in complete balance with all of the muscles and the tendons of the body. And so that's ultimately that's the practice. And as it gets further to the practice, it's also about recognizing the imbalance of the mind.
Okay.
So when we move on a physical level, if we're moving without proper thought, if we're moving without proper understanding, then our movements tend to be, as my teacher would say, a disturbance of air. So the communion form teaches you not just how to move, how to see yourself in stillness, but it also teaches you how to see the mind in stillness, and then see the mind in movement. And so that's how the form evolves from merely just an actual form to a living, moving process of life.
Yeah, I can understand that. That's deep. It's deep.
Yeah, it's our teacher showed this to us. It's one of the first forms we learn, and it is the root. It is the foundation of all of the forms that we learn. And over years, I mean, I've been doing this form now for years. Over thousands and thousands of times, I've actually do this form. I teach this form, and there's always something else that comes out of the form. Very intricate details of movement that you would miss because the mind is always racing from one place to another. So it's a great form. It's been great for me. It helps with stress reduction. It helps with mindfulness, as it forces you to bring the mind to a place of focus, right? So it allows you to focus on something specific so that you're not scattered. It's a great form. So
how much is posture a part of this?
it's everything. So proper posture allows for proper execution, right? So when we talk about posture as it relates to either be Olamwengo as a posture of universal balance, or we're talking about body posture in general, if your posture is off, then everything is off, really. When you think about the movement of energy, the proper alignment allows for the proper execution of whatever it is that you want to do. So from a martial perspective, when we look at some of the photos you would see of Muhammad Ali or some of these great fighters and their posture is perfect and they talk about the perfect punch, it's because of the proper posture that allows for the proper execution of the punch. So posture is everything.
Yeah, I noticed. I'm sorry, go ahead, Simi.
No, you go ahead.
Now, I was just going to include the fact that I noticed that when I started correcting my posture, I had more energy because I wasn't wasting energy. With that incorrect posture, you tend to waste a lot of energy.
Absolutely. The energy flows a lot better when you have proper posture. Absolutely.
Indeed. So how does this translate into life? We hear the word mindfulness, mindful living, a lot lately in society. Will this type of training help you become a more mindful person? And well, explain, what is your perspective of mindful living?
Well, so yeah, the word mindfulness or mindful training is kind of like a cliche now, where a lot of people are just throwing it out there to say, well, come to my mindfulness class, right? Ultimately, people say that mindfulness is about being conscious. It's a lot more than that. It's a lot deeper than just being aware of something, right? Mindfulness is getting to the root of your dysfunction and working with tools to remove the dysfunction, to become a better human being. Ultimately, that's what we talk about being mindful. It's not just being conscious. And being conscious and being aware is absolutely necessary to understand mindfulness and to go into the space of mindfulness. But it's not what mindfulness is, right? So mindfulness living is doing what's necessary to become the best of you, to uprooting all of the dysfunction, either be through childhood trauma, sexism, racism, all of the isms that are imposed upon us through the society that we live in, to be aware of what's happening to you based on the conditions in which you live and seeing how it impacts you internally. So how it impacts the heart, the kidney, the lungs, all of those things. And then you are actually bringing that forward and delivering that to society, which is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a dysfunctional society because we're dealing with dysfunctional people. So mindfulness allows you to go inward. It is the process of going inward to see the dysfunction of the mind, to actually begin to eliminate what's holding us back as one and as a society.
Okay, so we know, well, where's the School of Heaven and Earth based out of?
So the School of Heaven and Earth is based out of Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay, good. So, Baltimore, Maryland is known pretty much throughout the world as having, a little bit of dysfunctional issues.
Absolutely.
Pertaining to,
Just a little bit.
From the top all the way to the bottom. When I say the top, I'm talking about, the politics, the political officials, the police, just the government itself, and then of course its citizens. How could this mindfulness training, how do you think that this could help if it was like a community-wide program in the schools, in the organizations, etc.? How do you think it could help the community?
Well, so let's talk about school systems. To get so that our children can better understand who they are and why they do what they do, I don't see any other way for them to get to that space except for some type of mindfulness programs, right? So they have yoga and they have meditation, which is a part of mindfulness. But the bigger, I think, concern is how are we going to how would we introduce a program of mindfulness that allows children to see themselves in a safe space so that they can speak openly about it and begin to work on eliminating what's going on with them internally, right? So can mindfulness work in a school system? Can it work in organizations? It absolutely, it should be a part of every organization and every school system. Ultimately, everything that we see and experience in the world, someone had to think about it and create it. And so someone is giving us these ideas of what it is to exist. And for many of us, especially in the city of Baltimore, the idea in which we should exist under has never been in our benefit. So mindfulness programs will allow children to better see how, one, the mind is being manipulated, and two, what work needs to be done in order to become the best of who it is that the Almighty put us here to be. And so I often tell people that if I'm teaching a class, I say on Super Bowl Sunday, for a 30-second commercial this year, 2018, Super Bowl Sunday, it was $5 million. No, I'm sorry, $50 million. No, 5. Was it 5 or 50? I'm gonna say it was $5 million for a 30-second clip. Something tells me it was 50, but I'm gonna say 5 because I could be way off. I don't want to put that in right there, but I want to say something tells me it was 50 million.
In other words, it's a ridiculous amount.
Ridiculous amount of money for 30 seconds. Right? I'm gonna say it was 5 million. 30 seconds for $5 million for a commercial. And that commercial is geared to get you to do something. Right? And so I often tell people, I said, if someone's willing to spend $5 million for 30 seconds of your time, that means your mind is extremely powerful. Right? Because they're gonna make that money back on the back end. They absolutely are gonna make that money back. So they know that if they can get you just for 30 seconds, that there's a good chance that they're going to sell you something. And so what mindfulness is about recognizing that someone, something, someone's understand the greatness of mind. Right. And if someone or someone's understand the greatness of mind, then I might want to start paying attention to what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So here's my question on what you just said and the emphasis of it. Is, I guess I'm a little skeptic. I don't think the governmental powers would want ordinary peoples to have that type of training where they can command their mind to be at attention and they can reject and accept whatever they desire to accept, and they can't just put anything into their subconscious mind. It would go against the order. So really, I think that type of emphasis has to be under the controls of the peoples themselves as opposed to government.
Well, I absolutely agree. I think that the government has proven that it wants us to function in the way in which we're functioning now, right? So that's why every year, all year, there's some type of outside entertainment. So you have baseball for 6 seasons, 6 months, and you have basketball, and you have football. So there's always this form of entertainment so that we can be mind controlled, right? And I don't want to get too far to the, into the conspiracy theories of what the government is doing to us. But the reality is that this country and other countries do an incredible job of making sure that our time is occupied outside of self, right? There's always being promoted this other form of some level of entertainment. And so my teacher, Shaha, would say, we're, as African-American people, we're the court jesters. We're shucking and jiving for the world. And we are, in fact, what drives this country, if not all countries. It is through our works and efforts, either be through sports, through entertainment. We are, through our music, we are the creators of what garnishes an incredible amount of finances for all of these countries. Yet we are preoccupied with entertainment and not understanding the gifts that we have. And that's why mindfulness is extremely important, because if we were to better understand how our minds are contributing to the greatness of societies, then we can then use that to better ourselves as Black people.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So Olubusola, I want you to take this time out now to give your contact information for anyone that can contact you if they want to experience some of this training.
Absolutely. So if you would like, a class or a session, would like for me to come and give a workshop, my Facebook is Olubusola Moon. My Instagram is Olubusola Moon. And our website is 7levels.life. That's www.7levels.life. If you want to send me an email, you can also email me at olubusolamoon@gmail.com.
Great, great. So now we're going to take a moment and we're going to speak about our product. Eileen, I want you to, that's our logo up there on the right-hand corner, Harmony and Strength, Sweet and Tight. Tell the people something about Sweet and Tight, why they need to have this product.
Yes, Sweet and Tight, we developed it based on the formula of nature itself. We know that the female anatomy has a natural way of detoxing itself and bringing itself into purity. However, we're living in such a toxic environment, and there's so many contaminants that's, we're breathing in contaminants, and it's overload. It's system overload. So we basically what we do is just assist the body in doing what it naturally does. So we have a natural formula of kaolin or kaolin, bentonite clay, apple cider vinegar to pull the toxins out of the system. And then we have fruit extracts of pineapple, cranberry, and pomegranates to make the yoni nice and sweet and juicy and tight. So we follow nature's way to produce a wonder that is natural and inviting.
Wonderful, wonderful. So we've had some testimonies of some people, some women that have used the product actually, and talk about some of the testimonies. We've had some good testimonies.
Everybody that get the product, they enjoy it. They renewing their orders. One sister said that she was so creamy. She hadn't experienced that in a long time. And the reason why it's like that is because there's less interference. There's less toxic waste inside the body, and when we remove those toxic wastes, the body just goes back to its natural function. pH levels naturally go where they're supposed to be, and everything begins to function as it is designed to function. So we don't do anything special. Only thing we do is just put the ingredients in there that pulls the toxins out, and then we give you the natural fruit extract to bring back the sweetness.
Right. So you're looking at our website. Go to www.qualityheartbeats.com. Scroll down and click on Sweet and Tight. It's a picture of the bottle, has the ingredients in there, and get you a purchase. Get it for your lady, get it for your man. It is also beneficial for the man to actually take this. And absolutely. It'd be definitely pleasant, for the woman to experience, the sweet taste of her man, and so, sexual health is a very, very important aspect of our lives, so, and that's what we offer here with Harmony and Strength, the opportunity to optimize your life on various levels.
actually, Simbi, sexual health is the very essence of life.
Mm,
We wouldn't be here without it. So I don't
that's
know
right.
why, you know, institutions try to make it seem like it's such a horrible thing. It's sin, it's haram, it's this, it's that. It's beautiful and natural. That's what it is.
That's right. Now, Brother Olubusola,
Yes,
let's talk about leadership. When we look at, for example, the leader of America, Donald Trump,
sir.
you know, and we see the effect that he has on a lot of people. And now I hear, you know, he's dropping bombs in Syria. Am I correct?
Yeah.
And we seeing this guy, you know, he's arrogant, obnoxious, disrespectful, and just seems very morally corrupt. And first of all, do you, from observing his actions, do you feel that he is under some type of mindfulness training regimen?
No, absolutely. I question his sanity completely. There's definitely some things not clicking with him.
Right. Because I see, like, with certain leaders, with the mentality, like they say, you know, the attitude reflects leadership, meaning attitude of the masses reflects the attitude of the leadership. And we know that there's a lot of corruption going on the planet. And we can see that the way, you know, that there's constant war going on, constant conflict. And these conflicts go on year after year, decade after decade, from the highest level in politics and government and military to the lowest level with the masses of the people. Is there a way that mindfulness living, and even, you know, the classes that you present, could offer solutions and remedies to conflict?
Absolutely. Well, you know, we think about there's always been some level of conflict, right? Throughout history, there's always been some form of conflict. I think now we're dealing with conflict on an entirely different scale due to greed. But to your question, so mindfulness training, actually what it does is it causes you to begin to see the world compassionately, right? Because you start to see yourself in all of the things that you need to work on. You actually then extend compassion to others because you recognize that if I have these issues, others have issues. Others are struggling with something as I am struggling with something. And so mindfulness training is extremely important when you look at these organizations or these politicians who are making decisions on behalf of other people, not seeing other people as human, or not seeing them as on the same level of status as they are, right? So mindfulness actually promotes compassion and love. And so when you start to see that how your actions are negatively impacting someone, one, you see how your actions have negatively impacted you. Then you see how your actions have negatively impacted someone else. And through the training, you begin to extend compassion. And that's ultimately what we want, because with compassion comes healing. And so we want to make sure that the practitioners first begin to go inward to actually extend compassion to self, to send healing to self, and then extend that compassion and healing to all those that they come in contact with. And the only way that I have been aware of doing that is through some form of mindfulness training, some form of deep internal meditation, and through using tools of mindfulness to get you to go completely inward. And it takes a long time. Our teacher would say sometimes it takes lifetimes to get to that place. But if we don't start doing the work, what we see today, the madness and the chaos and the violence, as we can see over time, is just getting more and more. The world is getting more and more violent. Again, the world is also being given violence, and they're taking it in mentally so that it now seems normal. So once you start to promote things as normalcy, the mind then holds on to it and actually believes that it's normal. And so it's very difficult then to get people to remove those dysfunctional behaviors, because society has told them that it's actually normal. The only way to get people to see that those behaviors are abnormal is through meditation and some level of mindfulness training, because your divine connection takes over. Your divine being takes over. You are actually, through mindfulness training and meditation, you are centering yourself and pulling from that divine energy so that you recognize the dysfunction of self. And then you are able to see the dysfunction of others and to recognize how they're trying to manipulate you through some level of mindfulness or through some level of mind manipulation, no matter what it is, either be music, the foods we eat. You begin to see how you're being manipulated, and you can then start to work on bettering yourself through consciousness.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
that makes all the sense in the world. The part where you spoke of focusing on yourself and bringing compassion inward, that's a thorough detox of self, and then you can start to see the world from a different point of view. It's like breathing in before you breathe out.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. So Olubusola, Malenga Olubusola, could you give everyone a brief description of, like, if they come and attend your class, what would be their experience when they come and attend your meditation class?
Yeah, so when in all of my classes, it doesn't matter. I have taught classes in University of Maryland through CCBC with a young group of boys. I also teach a class Baltimore County for the Department of Equity and Cultural Proficiency. The way I teach my classes are, the very first thing we tend to do is we sit down and we just have a discussion so that I can better understand what's on people's hearts. And then we sit for a while. I have everyone sit, and I don't like to use the word we meditate, because most people don't meditate. Most people just sit with their eyes closed and for an extended period of time until you tell them that they can open their eyes, because the process of meditation takes an extremely long time. But what I do is I allow my practitioners to sit in a space of calm so that they can begin to see the fluctuations of the mind. And I have them actually start to pay attention to how the mind is consistently and constantly racing. So we have a discussion, we sit, I have them pay attention to thought so that they can begin to see who they are, because we are absolutely our thoughts. And they will pop up sometimes, and things will come at the most inopportune moments. A thought will appear, and you have no idea where it comes from, but that is who we are. So I have them look at their thoughts, and then I help them calm the mind through guided meditation. So either it be through some type of breathing, calming music. And the reason for that is to get them to begin to focus or to concentrate on something other than trying to not think about anything at all. It is almost impossible for the mind not to think until you've conditioned it to not do so. So the process of meditation is concentration, contemplation, meditation, as taught by my teacher. So we, or I, as a lead instructor, as an instructor of the day, will have the practitioners begin to concentrate on something specific. And after that concentration, I typically go into a discussion to see if they were able to concentrate on the thing in which they said they were going to concentrate. And it's important for people to understand that, because we tend to look outward as human beings at what everyone else is doing. But my objective of that exercise is to get people to see that if I have asked you to concentrate on something, and you have agreed to concentrate on something, yet you did not fulfill that agreement to self, then we need to work on the agreements that we make with self.
Mm.
Because if I say I'm going to do something, if I say that I'm going to concentrate on something, either be an object, a rock, a wall, and I don't, there's no one else to blame but me. And the reason that it doesn't happen is because of the fluctuations of the mind. So we begin to see how the mind actually is controlling us and we are not controlling the mind. And so we discussed that. I let them know all the time, it is your mind. And if it is your mind, you should control it. And it should not control you. So we work through exercises of getting them to see how one can control its mind instead of being controlled by the mind. And that takes a long time. That's an extremely long process. But that's how the classes typically run. I use what my teacher has developed, the 7 levels of mindfulness living. And we go through these 7 steps to recognize how the manipulation of the mind controls us emotionally, it controls us instinctually, and it plays itself out on this physical level. And so we walk through these steps and training exercises to really get people to see how the mind is manipulating our actions. And if it is our mind, we should be able to control it not control us.
Powerful. That's powerful, bro. Well, look, we definitely thank you, good brother, for joining us, joining the Harmony and Strength show. And we definitely thank you for the insight. Yeah, we definitely want to have you back. You know, we could delve a little deeper into certain topics, you know, but that was definitely an excellent overview of the program. So, but before we close out, give your contact information again for people to contact you.
Absolutely. And first, I want to say thank you, brothers, for having me on. It's been an honor. And I do hope to see you, brothers, soon. I'm available if ever you need me or want me. But you can reach me on Facebook at Olubusola Moon. You can reach me on Instagram at Olubusola Moon. And you can reach me via email at olubusolamoon@gmail.com. And our website is www.7levels.life. That's SEVEN levels, LEVELS.life.
Perfect. So, well, we want to thank you for watching the Harmony and Strength show. We pray that you receive something beneficial today, that you can put the good use towards your optimal living experience. And we're going to say good night, and we're going to close out once again with our commercial.
Come, experience the wonders of sweet and tight. We follow nature's way by going deep at the cellular level to pull toxins out of your body, leaving you fresh as spring. A freshness that carries the hypnotic fragrance of pheromones, producing a sweet surrender. When used regularly, this special blend of fruit extracts will allow you and your partner to enjoy the continued sweetness of your feminine nectar. Order now at www.qualityheartbeats.com.